secondary sanctions on those who are really foundational to Russia being able to continue this onslaught that you mentioned at the outset against Ukraine.
What's your sort of message to European leaders, including the Prime Minister here, in terms of whether they could be doing more? I think it's fair to say that everyone has stepped up significantly here and obviously various pledges to increase defence spending. But is there much more that could be done? And how do you see, as much as we look at President Trump and worry about some of the rhetoric, should there be more being done here?
Well, first of all, I would say that European leaders, including the Prime Minister, have done a really good job in engaging President Trump. President Trump, you know, I think what he wants to achieve is actually positive. How he goes about it is problematic sometimes. And I think that he learns from these conversations. He does evolve his thinking. So the engagement has been, I think, quite effective. But in terms of what more can be done, of course, burden of responsibility sharing and defense, that's in the positive column. I think that's helping the transatlantic relationship and the transatlantic alliance. But there's much more that can be done in two areas: to sustain support for Ukraine, and then also to put more pressure on Russia at a time when Putin is actually quite vulnerable. I mean, his economy is in shambles. And I think the two main things to do are to highlight what you already have really highlighted, is what is the international system that is allowing Putin to evade more severe effects of sanctions, including India purchasing the cheap oil. Actually, Europe's still buying 20% of the oil that they used to buy and energy from Russia. Reducing that dramatically, I think, would be important. Secondary sanctions on those who are really foundational to Russia being able to continue this onslaught that you mentioned at the outset against Ukraine. And China is at the forefront of that. Leaders about what are the nature of some of these secondary sanctions, financial sanctions, other sanctions that can impose costs on China for really underwriting this horrible war against Ukraine.